Across LC with your hosts, Jeff Alsman and Cody Zitman.
And hello again, and welcome everyone to another edition of the A2Z Across LC podcast. Jeff Alsman here, sitting in for Cody Zitman, who's on assignment today, is Mike Lemons. We call him the legend around here. Mike, welcome to the podcast.
You give me names like that, and then I'll have to live up to it somehow.
So far, you have. You've done yeoman's
I don't appear
work.
on camera much. So.
You and producer O carry the program. We're just kind of the faces and the voices, and you two guys kind of do all the groundwork and all the floor work and ceiling work and pretty much all the work.
Well, you know, most shows on TV or radio or anything or movies, it's the people you don't see who tend to do most of the stuff.
That is the truth. That is the truth. But it's the people who are on camera that get paid the most, except on this program.
Right.
Yes. Welcome to another edition. We've got a great show to share with you today. We're going to be talking about an event that's going to be going on a little bit later here in April over at Glazebrook Park for Arbor Day. So we're going to bring you up to speed on that. We're going to talk about BlazerCon, which is right around the corner here on campus. And then we have a couple of basketball players to bring into the program today and let them talk about their past season. But I don't know about you, but for me, I'm not a real big NBA fan. So, you know, I'm all into the March Madness.
Well, I plan to ask them about it. I mean, the Final Four set, and this weekend we're going to see those teams. So their season's over, so I'm going to ask them a lot of questions about the NCAA.
Yeah, that's what I'd like to find out too. Yeah. What their thoughts are on all that, and you know, it's going to be a lot of number one seeds. You don't see that very often, and this year it kind of just played out that way.
Yeah.
So,
and then, you know, talking about Arbor Day coming up, just, you know, our parks in general in Godfrey are pretty sweet.
They are,
right? I mean, we're pretty fortunate there. So I just have questions about some master planning stuff, and you know, I used to coach in the baseball league, and my father was one of the founders of the Corey League years ago.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm excited about that segment, and of
you know
course,
what? This is going to be a really interesting podcast because for one of the first times in a long time, my co-host is prepared. So I don't know if I'm going to know how to react.
You know, we don't need to pick up where our Cody left off because Cody would like throw shots during recording.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. So maybe we shouldn't throw any at him with.
Well, that's probably true because he will be back and he will be keeping score.
Yeah.
So, well, if you do want to find out about events on campus, you can go to events.lc.edu. That'll take you to the public calendar. You can search that and find out by date or by location any of the events that are on that public calendar if you're interested in wanting to know what's going on around campus. You can also email us at A2Z podcast at lc.edu. And, you know, if you have an idea for an upcoming show or you'd like to be a guest or something like that, you can do that as well. So that kind of takes care of all the paperwork, as they say.
Right.
I'm anxious. Shall we get to the guests?
Sure. Let's do it.
Anything you want to do in between? You know, 'cause you're so well prepared. I thought maybe you had something.
We are?
LC A to Z. Welcome to Lewis and Clark Reed Memorial Library. Let me show you around. We're not just about studying. It's a place to unleash your creativity and connect with others. Grab a snack, sip on some coffee, and dive into a board game or puzzle. Want to make something cool? We've got 3D printers and Cricut machines to bring your ideas to life. And if you need research help, we've got you covered. Whether you're working on a project or just kicking back with friends, the library's got everything you need to succeed and have fun while doing it. Oh, I almost forgot. Books. We've got those too. Whether you're into graphic novels, young adult, sci-fi, or biographies, we've got it all. So whether you're here to study, create, or just relax, the library's got something for everyone. So come on in and make the library your own.
Welcome back to the A to Z Across LC podcast. Jeff Alsman and Mike Lemons here with you today. Cody is on assignment, and we have as our first guest on the program today, Chris Logan, who is the director of Parks and Recreation for the Village of Godfrey. And there's a big event coming up at Glazebrook Park to celebrate Arbor Day, and Chris is here to tell us all about it. Welcome to the A to Z podcast, Chris.
Hey guys, thanks a lot for having me on. I appreciate it. I heard this before. I've seen Cody's face kind of pop up across the podcast. I think that's hurting you.
Oh, now we're all shooting it. Before you said that, I was going to say you kind of resemble him just a little bit. Do you think, Mike? He's kind of got.
Well, maybe what the Trailblazer blue on and always wearing a hat.
It's the blue and the hat and the beard.
This was an accident.
It's
I swear, I did not know this.
Are you sure you're not applying for co-host? Pro Tem. That's what they call it over there in the offices where you guys are, right?
Yeah.
Pro Tem is
Tem.
Yeah. So, well, welcome. Sounds like an exciting event. Lots of different elements for this event.
Yeah. So Arbor Day is an event we do every year, and it actually is. It's a very nice event because it's for folks that have lost a loved one traditionally, and they'll purchase a tree to be planted in their memory, or sometimes they'll have a park bench installed with a plaque on it. And it means a lot to them. And every Arbor Day, we'll dedicate those. We'll actually have a ceremony. We read off the names. There's a large bell in the park there we ring to kind of honor each individual person. And it's a nice day. Hopefully we have nice weather. People will come from far and wide. Some people are local. Some people have some other folks out of town that will actually travel here for that weekend to be a part of the event.
So that's one element, but you have all kinds of busy things going on too to keep everybody kind of entertained along with that more solemn type ceremony.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not all doom and gloom. That's the way I put it. We want to have fun along the way, and everyone there is a good sport. They know why they're there and how important it is. But we have a fishing derby in the morning for the kids, and that's always a blast.
Now,
to
do
watch.
you, not to interrupt, but do you stock the lake ahead of time, or do you just go with what's already in there?
We put fish in there, yeah.
Okay.
So there's a pretty healthy population of fish in there. I've been working with the DNR to actually make sure that it's properly managed, because I know that it's fished a lot, but it's actually got some really good numbers in there right now.
So is it catch and release on a normal basis, or?
Most people catch and release. You can't take fish out of the pond. It's state guidelines. So, technically if you go to the park, you're going to need a fishing license. If you take fish out of there, they have to be a certain length to take them home with you, but I really don't see people taking fish out of there that often.
Most people seem to do catch and release these days just because of the environment and the fact that, if I catch a nice big fish, I just want a picture of it. And I feel like, he or she has lived long enough to have gained that right to get to go back and go home. That's kind of.
Oh, yeah. I'd want someone else to pull on that big fish too, because I don't want to go to the trouble of cleaning it either.
No doubt.
I go on those fishing trips, and I'll do that, but not in the park there. That's
Mike,
just not my goal.
Are you a fisherman at all? Or?
I'm not. I don't have the patience.
You just go in and dive for your golf balls. Right?
Right.
Yeah.
If they're close to the edge and I don't have to get too wet, yes, that's where I go get it. So this fishing derby, right, starts in the morning. That continues throughout the day, correct?
So actually, you can register for that ahead of time
Yeah.
at teamsideline.com/Godfrey. It's a free event, but if you put your information in there early, you don't have to worry about walking up that morning and registering. It's just one thing you can do ahead of time to make your day a little bit more smoother. But registration actually starts at 9. People can walk up.
Gotcha.
Now, is there an age limit on that?
Yeah, so we have 3 different age groups, 4 to 6, 7 to 9, and 10 to 12. And we'll give out little trophies and awards, most fish caught in each age group, largest fish or the strangest fish. Somebody pulls in a car tire. Something crazy
there we
like
go.
that.
Yeah.
There we go.
We'd like to reward that.
Sure.
I would probably be highly favored on that because I have gone out and I've actually pulled up one of those plastic lawn chairs, and I've actually pulled up a 15-pound anchor on 6-pound test. That was quite a fight.
I don't guarantee many things, but I'm pretty confident in saying that you would win.
I think, that would probably
you
do
would
it,
win
wouldn't
that
it?
day.
Yes, I was just thinking that sounds like a big fish tale. It sounded like a story. It sounded like something you do to make the show interesting.
I have witnesses. Unfortunately, I have witnesses that I actually pulled those things up out of a lake.
So when it comes to the tree dedications, that's going to be later in the afternoon. What part of the park is that happening this year? Because you've done several of these throughout the years. Because I know there's one dedicated to my father that's out there along the main edge. So where is it happening this time?
So we always try and do it in the old part of Glazebrook. As you drive in the park, you come to that big tree where the road tees off.
Right.
It's going to be in that grassy area between the road and the pond. So we'll have some things set up. We'll have a sound system out there, and flags will be real nice. And that's exactly where it's going to be, out in the grass. So we ask people, if they're going there to recognize a loved one who had a tree dedicated in their memory, just go ahead and get there a little early if you want a good spot, because it's one of those things, people just bring lawn chairs, and they just sit out there. And that the ceremony actually starts at 1:30, and then it'll go from like 1:30 to 3. And then while we're out there, we've got maps of the park of where these trees are located, and people who have a new tree there, they can go find it. But also, if you dedicated a tree 15 years ago and you don't remember where it is, like, oh, well, it's on the map right here. You just go over there and find it. So sometimes people go back and find trees that have been dedicated in the past, and they get busy, life happens, and they haven't been back in town in years. Like, well, let's go look at it. So
you may have mentioned, and I may have missed it, but is there a cost for doing that? And would they order those through the village if they're wanting?
Yeah, so they purchase the trees through us, and we go turn around, purchase the trees, and plant them. So that's how that works. And it's not a unique program. A lot of people do have memorial trees, but not every community has a ceremony every year where they kind of dedicate them to families and their loved ones. Because I have quite a few benches and trees out there for my family, and it means a lot. So I think people really appreciate it. That's something we can do and we like to do.
I've got questions about Godfrey Parks in general.
That's where I was going, so go ahead.
Yeah, so that, first of all, that's the 26th, correct? And it's going to be a great day for...
I think it's the 27th.
27th, okay.
I think.
Okay, all right. So just parks in general. So you guys have done big master plans in the past, and we've seen the development of other parts of Glazebrook Park. I looked at a study earlier to where the Longfield area, I guess, is in the process of being developing. Any light you want to shed on any of that, on some what preliminary plans may be and what people can expect to see over the next couple of years?
Well, thanks for bringing it up. Godfrey has done so much in that park. It is night and day. I've talked to so many people that come out, and they haven't been here in 10 years. And they say, oh, my gosh, when did this happen?
I was going to say, that'd be like night and day.
And the board has been very supportive of the park and driven by Mayor McCormick. That's been his agenda. He supports the parks. And he's done a good job of making sure that we continue to invest in that resource, because quality of life it's really important to families. I mean, it's a nice, safe place to go. In terms of the future, though, I couldn't tell you what exactly the plan is. There's a lot of options, but it depends where the board wants to go next. If I had to guess, we probably will be looking at something along the lines of athletics. We're getting bigger every year. Our soccer program has exploded. We've got tons of kids playing baseball and softball. We need to find an answer to our indoor programs, playing volleyball and basketball in the winter.
Right.
We need to answer that question. That's above my pay grade. I know I can make recommendations and say this is what I'd like to see, but the elected officials, they're the ones who make the calls.
So baseball and softball are near and dear to my heart, because I've spent a lot of time on those fields growing up and then coaching. I noticed where you're having your youth leagues, right, which happened, but this year something a little different for the older group. Is that correct? So I think you're doing a 10U and a 12U and something that's going to be called River Bend Softball Baseball.
So exactly. We have our younger leagues, which is essentially T-ball and machine pitch. And that's more or less local kids from Godfrey or even some Alton kids. But that's really all the locals. They don't travel. They play all their games in Glazebrook Park. But 10U, 12U, and 14U, baseball and softball, we participate in Riverbend Baseball Softball League, which is Godfrey, Jerseyville, and Alton. So it helps pull from a larger group of kids, and then it feels a little bit more like a travel ball league. You'll play about half your games in Godfrey if you register in Godfrey and you're a Godfrey team, but then you'll go play some games in Alton. You go up to Jerseyville, and you're still within this immediate area, so you're not having to drive to Indianapolis for the weekend, something crazy like that. I know a lot of parents aren't ready to make that commitment, but you can travel still a little bit and go to these different places. And I think that makes it interesting for kids. Kids can still have that little taste of playing that travel ball league.
Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, with our team, we were kind of in between, right? We were a little too good for the Park and Rec League, and then we went to a travel episode and went to Wisconsin and got killed for 3 games straight. So, but yeah, you can still travel pretty closely though between Alton and Godfrey.
You kind of get the experience of it, even if it's not. You go out and get slaughtered.
Right.
You'd be surprised how many people I've heard a similar story. Like, well, we're pretty good here. We're going to go try and get in the select league, and I'll see him the next summer. How'd it go? not good.
Yeah,
right.
It's like, well, that's all right. It's good for the kids.
Right.
So it's a good program, and we're trying to build on it every year. And we've got good resources out there. We've got some good fields. We're in good shape, and we just want to keep keeping kids involved. That's the best thing we can do for them. Keep them involved and give them access to quality programs. And really, it comes down to all the staff and the volunteers. We couldn't do this without mom or dad or grandpa volunteering out there coaching a team. It's just not possible. I mean, I know you guys remember, but my dad and our group of friends, they were taking us everywhere for Park and Rec. And I grew up in Gordon Moore Park. That's where I played soccer and baseball all those years. But it was the same thing. We couldn't do it without the dads and getting together and being willing to put up with us is what I call it.
I grew up playing in places neither of you probably remember. You probably don't remember Henry Street Park with the 4 diamonds down by the river.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that?
I remember.
There were ball fields down there?
Oh, yeah.
See, I told you. Yeah.
I know where the park is, but
well, it's a parking lot now for the casino, I guess, or right in that area. But yeah, that's.
I thought maybe you had played at. I've seen pictures of baseball diamonds over where Monticello is. It was a black and white picture, and it was a long time ago.
And they were wearing.
And I thought you might remember
the
that.
heavy-duty cotton uniforms and all of that kind of stuff. Yeah. They had the mustaches that curled up like this. Yeah.
Unfortunately, real estate sometimes has a little more value as something else
Yeah,
versus a ball field.
But what an exciting time to be involved from your perspective when your outside sports and your inside sports are all exploding at the same time. I mean, that makes it tough when you have to make choices. What do we do first? How much of this do we do? We don't want to ignore anybody. Try to give everybody a little bit of something, but that's tough choices to make.
And you add on top of that, you add these events like they're doing out at the park all the time, or the biking and pedestrian trails.
Your trails
are great, which I see, there's plans to maybe expand that too. So it's really cool. You're involved in something pretty exciting, it seems like.
Yeah, and the pedestrian path has been a huge hit. I don't know if either of you have been out there. It's gorgeous. Yeah. It's gorgeous. And we're going to connect that all the way over to Pierce Lane.
Oh,
in the next few years, that's going to be connected.
That's great.
So that's something the mayor also wanted to see, and he's helped us a lot because we've got some money tied up. Not anymore; it's all finished, the first phase. But we were having issues getting the project cleared through the state of Illinois, and the higher you go up in government, it seems like there's more red tape. But he
certainly not.
We know nothing about that being a community college. Right?
But he did a good job of working his contacts to make sure we're able to still, kind of push forward and get that project done. But the first phase is done. We're on to the last 2. So
and that's so much of it too, because you want to, you have to rely on grants to be able to do that stuff so that your residents don't have to pay for everything. It's very expensive to do what you're trying to do and continue to keep what you have well maintained and continue to expand and bring in new stuff too. It's very costly. There's no doubt about it.
You're right. These are big dollar items too. When you're talking about investments like this in the community, it's a lot of money, and Godfrey does their absolute best to find every dollar they can to offset those costs, because that's part of our job too, to provide these services at the most affordable cost we can. So I think Godfrey does a good job at it. I really do.
So to see all of the events coming up, it's just as easy as going to Godfrey's website, clicking on Park and Rec, yeah?
Yeah, that's exactly right. And you can also find us on Facebook. That's a good way to get a lot of information. We're always sharing this, or, hey, don't forget about that. This is coming up. Don't forget to sign up. And, somebody sees it, mom says, oh, shoot, I was supposed to sign up for that 2 months ago.
Right.
Is that just Facebook/Godfrey Park and Rec?
If you pull up a Facebook page, it'll be Village of Godfrey Parks and Recreation. Okay. And we've got a lot of good information on there, and also our website too. But I like to think that our Facebook page is probably on the cutting edge of the information that we're providing.
Right on. Well, thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Enjoyed it, and it's just the beginning point. It sounds like.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here, and we'll take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about BlazerCon here on the A2Z podcast.
We are
LC A2Z.
Yo, what up? It's Mike Keith, the proud graduate of Lewis and Clark Community College. I got my start in broadcasting and now I work all over the country. I discovered my path in media, but my path could have been in exercise science. Let's go! Or I could have discovered the artist in me.
Welcome back to the A to Z Across LC podcast. Jeff Alsman here. Mike Lemons is here as well. And we're going to be talking, Mike, this segment about BlazerCon, an event that folks are excited about on campus. Daniel Nosce is here. He's our college recruiter and also part of the BlazerCon committee or group or whatever you want to say that's kind of putting all of this together. So, Daniel, welcome to the program. And I guess you're pretty excited about the event coming up here.
Absolutely. This is going to be one of the largest events, one of the largest events we hope to come to Lewis and Clark's campus. Seeing as it is the first time we have ever held a convention like this on our campus, it's very daunting, but we are very excited about it.
So, real quickly for people who may not know, we call it BlazerCon, which the con is short for convention. But tell folks what that really means, because I don't know. They may have seen the posters, the billboards, wherever, but they may not be sure of what that actually is.
All right. Well, so BlazerCon was aptly named after our mascot, Blazer the Newfie, contrary to the conspiracy theories that are out there. But we want to make sure that since it's on Lewis and Clark's campus, then Lewis and Clark has a presence in the convention. But BlazerCon is a free comic pop culture convention. It's a perfect opportunity for students, faculty, staff, families, anybody that's into video games, D&D, tabletop games, cosplay.
Okay, stop for a minute. D&D won't work for me. So
okay.
What is
I know that one. That's Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I do not play that myself, but I do know a number of students here on this campus that do, and they have campaigns.
Cosplay is costume play. Yeah.
Costume play. So yeah.
Well, you're up on it. You coming? You got your costume? You ready to go? Or what?
I'll come as a Lewis and Clark employee.
There you go. Okay. Well, you might.
That's a stretch, yeah.
Everybody's supposed to come in, in some type of fake costume. So
Right.
it's. Oh, that went right over your head, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
On purpose.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead, Dan.
Oh man. So there's going to be vendors there and artists, and there's going to be food trucks, and there's going to be video game tournaments, and just a lot of fun different things for different things for people of all ages and all walks of life to come in and check out.
You said food trucks. It just changed the game completely.
Yeah, it did, didn't it?
When you added food trucks to the story. So there are going to be a lot of activities throughout the day, right? I mean, I see that there's something called the Adventurous Worlds of Steampunk.
Yes. So, excuse me. So the Adventurous Worlds of Steampunk is one of our many panels that will happen during the BlazerCon. So for those of you who don't know who our panel is, you go into the room and the panel expert is going to talk about that certain subject. So one of the subjects is the world of steampunk, and that's going to be held by Justilian Landry of the Gateway Steampunk Society.
That's a mouthful, isn't it?
It really is.
Yes. Now, what
is that?
Yeah. What is steampunk?
Oh, robotic animatronic beings. So think, I would say, I would go as far to say as Transformers, but with a more 1800s vibe to it. Does that make sense?
1800s robotics.
It's
It's almost
cool.
like a contradiction in terms.
It is. Yeah. It is. But I mean, they have gears, and they act like they act like they're robots, and that you're talking to a animatronic being. So if you've seen iRobot,
So it's like a robot horse that pulls a buggy. That'd be perfect for the 1800s of right.
yeah, it's something like
I
that.
can tell right now, if I come to this thing, I'm gonna have to go to every panel.
Absolutely.
I can tell.
Well, and there's some panels that have some Lewis and Clark folks throughout them. I
Yes.
see that Steve Higgins is involved in a couple of them.
Yeah, Steve Higgins is going to be running the panel of Ink and Drink Comics, which is 15 years of independent comics in the SCL area. And he's also running the panel on classic Doctor Who, where to start. There's a lot of Doctor Who episodes. I don't know where to start, so I might be in that panel just to see where I can start, because I see it all over the place. Even the St. Louis Science Center has a TARDIS, which is a blue telephone booth that they have over in England. And it's supposed to be a time machine.
Should I feel bad if I've heard of Doctor Who but don't know anything about Doctor Who?
Oh, not at all.
No.
Not at all.
Okay, so you know,
I'm aware of Doctor Who. Yeah.
Okay.
Several different actors have played Doctor Who, and the phone booth is a transformative thing.
Okay,
Yeah.
That's where he travels.
Okay, so
Yeah.
there's panel number 2. Keep going.
Yeah. So there's also Business 101 for freelance artists, authors, and filmmakers. So anybody that's wanting to get into the world of doing conventions, whether it be anime conventions or TikTok conventions or Snapchat conventions or just A-list celebrity conventions, all the way A through D, how to run your business, how to create your business plan, how to get your name out there to various streaming and various broadcast media. Shout out to digital streaming and broadcast media at Lewis and Clark.
Very good. Very good. So the costumes are really going to drive it, though, right? A lot of the attendees will be dressed up in something. Maybe not all of them will enter the costume contest, but that's going to be one of the bigger draws, surely. And obviously, you have a lot of vendors there that people will visit throughout and some of these other panels. But when you walk into this event, you expect to see a lot of people decked out in whatever period, whatever role play thing that they're into.
Absolutely. A lot of cosplays are based off of either comics or video games or movies. Lara Croft. If you could dress up as Lara Croft from Tomb Raider. You could
Tomb Raider.
I've heard
Angelina
of-
you seen Tomb
Jolie
Raider?
played her in the movies.
Yeah, I think I've seen that one. I don't think I would
Get a wig
I'm
on
not
you?
sure I could look the part though.
Jeff, I really think you could.
Not sure.
But yeah, so the cosplay contest is actually going to be run by one of the planners and planning team committee members for Anime St. Louis, which is a huge con in the Midwest, one of, if not the biggest one in the Midwest, which is happening the following week. So in partnering with Anime St. Louis, these planners have agreed and are working with us to host the cosplay contest, and the winner of the cosplay contest will receive not only $75 but also 2 free weekend passes to Anime STL, which is a 3-day convention.
Wow.
And it's going to be held in St. Charles, and there's going to be crazy parking. And
If they think this one is big.
if they think this is going to be big, this is a drop in the bucket of
Do you have ideas on numbers or participants? I mean, do you guys have a pretty good judge of
1,523,000.
Sounds like Cody in our audience,
right,
doesn't it?
right.
Absolutely. Well, we hope to reach everybody in your audience and even further past that. So
So do you have to come in costume?
No.
Or you don't have to. You wouldn't feel out of place.
absolutely not.
If you didn't come in
If you
costume.
wanted to wear just your regular everyday clothes, you absolutely can. Yeah, I haven't decided if I'm going to wear a costume or yet.
So
or
what
not,
would you be
but,
if you're going to do costume? What would you be?
Oh, it's a secret. Because if I say it, then the video game club kids are going to start freaking out.
Oh, let's
'Cause,
not do that then.
Yeah, we can't have.
Because I've
that
seen
happen.
you inside a dinosaur before.
Yes, I've been.
But that's probably not what you would do. You're probably going to break out something new.
Something new. Absolutely, something new.
Yeah.
So what details do we need to know as we wrap up? What tickets? Do you still need volunteers? What still needs to get out there?
Absolutely. So if you would like to register, just help us keep track of the count of how many people of the billions of people that are going to show up, which that's our goal. You can register at www.lc.edu/blazercon.html. The webpage will have a PDF with a campus map and the venue maps as well. So you can register there, and that's how the event is free. So that ticket is just helping us keep track of how many people are showing up.
So you basically just come pay for the food if you eat something and
Precisely.
okay.
Precisely. And then we have volunteer opportunities. We're looking for trailblazers. We're looking for past trailblazers. Heck, we're on probably even looking for future trailblazers, which is everybody, that are willing to help behind the scenes. We have a lot of volunteer spots available. I believe it's like 60. So, they can also, it's going to be in roughly 2-hour increments, beginning at 10:45 and running throughout the entire convention. And they can sign up on the Lewis and Clark BlazerCon webpage.
And the convention itself is from 1 to 8. It's on April 12th.
Correct.
It's a Saturday.
Yep.
So mark your calendar. It definitely sounds like an interesting event that maybe you just want to come and learn something about it. If you're not sure what it is, it still sounds like it'd be a fun time.
Absolutely. And if you are a fan of crafters from craft fairs or vendors from vendor fairs or artists that happen to be at the various fairs around the area, such as the Old Bakery beer company that's in downtown. They have vendor fairs all the time. If you are willing to support those artists and see their talent and just support them all in general, these types of artists and crafters and creators are going to be at BlazerCon. And I believe we have it's over 40 or 45.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is.
So
cool.
that's a lot of them.
Daniel, thank you very much, man. Good luck.
Thank you. We're going to have a great time, and we hope to see 1 trillion people there. We're going to keep it going. And it'll be a great time, and just make sure you spread the word. There's going to be events coming out of Lewis and Clark left and right. There's also a jazz band concert tonight at Trimpy at 7 p.m. if you're into jazz.
Just imagine 1 trillion people all in unison yelling out, "We are
LC!
A2Z.
Yo, what up? It's Mike Keith, the proud graduate of Lewis and Clark Community College. I got my start in broadcasting and now I work all over the country. I discovered my path in media, but I could have been a process operator. Yeah, my path could have been in graphic design.
Welcome back to the A to Z Across LC podcast. Jeff Alsman here, Mike Lemons sitting in today for Cody Zipman, who is on assignment. And
Do we tell people what the assignment is, or do we just leave
I just
it
say on
vague?
assignment and let them, maybe they can do some research or something.
Yeah.
So, and maybe Cody doesn't want them to know. So,
Okay.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
just,
All right, fair enough.
I just very generic.
Right.
Plus, I don't know where he is. So it's,
He probably prefers it that way.
probably does. Hey, we're going to talk a little basketball. I'm ready. Big weekend. The NCAA tournament down to the last round, and the Final Four, and then the championship. But before we do that, we're going to talk to some Lewis and Clark basketball players about their season, some of their plans moving forward. So we certainly want to welcome Byron Stampley and Derrion Enlow to the podcast. Guys, thanks for coming in.
No problem.
No problem.
So talk a little bit about the season. I know it wasn't as successful probably as you had hoped for. You always like to win every single game. That's the goal, and that doesn't happen very often. But just, and Byron, we'll start with you because you're a sophomore.
Yeah.
So you have kind of 2 years worth of information to draw on. So kind of tell us about your stay here at Lewis and Clark and what you enjoyed, things you learned, things like that.
Some things that I enjoyed playing at Lewis and Clark was just being able to play for a community that I grew up in, and like things like that, and make bonds with new people that I always played against and like never got the chance to play with in high school. So I think that was like the thing I enjoyed most about playing at Lewis and Clark.
Because you're a former Redbird.
Yeah, I am a former Redbird.
Yeah, so you had like the community all around you.
Yeah, I always had that. Yeah.
They all came, everybody that came to see you, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
But something that I really enjoyed about this year is that like you've seen the progress from last year. So last year we didn't have many guys. I seen Coach Lacey, he went out to recruit some guys and things like that. I just like, you can see the progress that everything's gonna be good in the future. So that's one thing I enjoyed, playing with some guys.
Derrion, how about you? What this first year for you? So maybe a learning experience, or did you come in and just find your spot right away, very comfortable? How'd that all work?
It was definitely a learning experience. We didn't have the best season, like you said. We had a lot of ups and downs, but we did have progress. Like after Christmas break, we did go on a stretch where we won 5 games in a row, and the team was kind of bought in. And then, like, we was competing every day in practice. So I did see the progress, and I did like the experience.
And I'm sorry,
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, and you came from East St. Louis
Yes, sir.
High School. So what was the competition level like from where you were? Because, I mean, both those are pretty good basketball programs at the high school level. So what was it like coming to Lewis and Clark, and how was the competition level? Did you have to all of a sudden really up your game?
And did it take you long to make friends? Because you used to be enemies.
That's true. That's true. You guys like in the same conference and everything. So
What you mean by thing?
the difference,
Level of competition
Yeah, the
between
level,
high
yeah, the
schools and
difference of,
here.
Like
Yeah.
the teams we played against?
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
It was the physicality was definitely different, and the speed, like they were stronger, faster, and they knew the game a little bit more from being at the college level a couple more years than you. So yeah.
Okay.
I would say the same. Like you can see some guys that redshirt their year, so they got 3 years, and you can just see it's a big difference. Speed, physicality, things like that.
So you guys, you remember playing against each other in high school?
No,
I never got to play against them.
Oh, really?
I transferred my senior year.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay.
See, I'm trying to create some drama.
Yeah,
where there's
you
none
are.
to be
You're
created.
you're wanting them to go at it, aren't you? I can
No.
see.
I just, when you're in high school, you have these big rivalries. And we had ours when I was at Alton High a long, long time ago. But no, just to see how you come together, two schools that, they played together before and going to the same college. So just curious about that. Yeah. So you're both guards.
Yes.
Yeah. And you finished here at Lewis and Clark and you're moving on. What's the next chapter for you?
So the next chapter, I'm looking to go to Lincoln University in Jefferson, Missouri to continue my basketball and career and scholar career. Join a sorority fraternity. So it's a HBCU out there. So
oh, cool.
do that.
Oh.
Yeah.
So what do you plan to study? Are you carrying over what you studied here to studying there, or changing to something different?
Electrician.
Oh, cool.
Oh, really? Cool.
Yeah. That's very good. You have another year back with LC, yeah?
Yeah.
And we heard some recruiting and some changing, and you saw how there was a growth. What's your anticipation for next year? What does it look like for Trailblazer basketball next season?
To win and get better. We definitely got to get stronger over the summer. We got to get better, and we got to learn the game more. We got to watch a lot of basketball. We got to bond as a team. I think that if we do them things and buy into what coach is trying to give us, we'll definitely have a successful season next year.
Piggybacking off of something Mike said, you got all these guys coming in from different schools, and you just talked about bonding as a team. How hard is that? Because you're all playing different systems. All of a sudden now you got to all come in and play under one new coach's system. Does that take a little bit of time for all that to happen?
It definitely takes a little time because some people play slower at their high school and some people play faster. And then different teams played zone, different teams played man full court. So it's definitely different. Take time.
They mentioned earlier about how the season was not like they wanted to go, but they learned a lot
Right.
and went on this stretch. That's the experience, though, you build off of, right? I mean,
sir.
That's what you're going to take in the next year with those new players, the experience when going, hey, we weren't this until break, and then we really came together and we went on a string. That experience is going to teach you how to do that sooner, yeah?
Yes, sir.
Fantastic.
So you're going to be the points leader next year? You're already ready for all that?
Nah, I'm going to score more, but I'm definitely not. I'm going to try to be the points leader, but I like pass first. I like getting the team involved.
He's just being humble.
That's kind of what a guard's.
But that's what he's supposed to say. That's what Coach would want him to say. Yeah. Team player,
right,
all the way.
Well, good luck to you in your future and going on to school, and good luck to you in bringing some more wins to the Trailblazer basketball.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
You want to talk about the NCAA now?
Yeah,
we have to, right?
Yeah, we got to. You can't let that go by.
So how long before your bracket was busted?
My bracket's still alive. I did not have all Final Four teams, but I still have two of the four left. Because you feel like you got to put an upset in there.
You got to put an upset there. This was a year where you didn't have to do that.
Yeah. So I had two teams.
Who do you have winning it all?
I have Duke winning it on one bracket. I have Florida winning it on another bracket.
Yeah. I don't know, man. There's Duke.
I don't know.
How about you guys?
What do you guys think? You guys are the experts. We're just guessing.
Houston would be the upset for Duke.
What's that?
Houston would be the upset.
Really?
For Duke. Yes.
I don't think so. I think.
Oh, here we go. You're getting them now. They're going at it. Okay.
I was seeing something on Instagram the other day. It's like Duke average height is 6'8". So if all their players had the same height, they would be an average of 6'8".
Wow.
So I just feel like that's.
And Duke has the freshman phenom, right?
Cooper Fleck.
Yes. Cooper Fleck. Yeah, I mean, that's all you hear about is this guy, and he's really good.
He's really good.
Yeah. They're just too big for Houston.
But you look at you can make an argument for all four of those teams.
Oh yeah,
that have made
really
it, right?
so.
I mean, you could see some absolutely dominate, and it's going to be a good Final Four with 4 number ones for the first time since.
I don't even know, but it's been a while.
Time.
I think it was 2008.
Yeah, 2008.
Really?
So where your brackets stand? Are you guys in different brackets, and are you in good spot?
I'm at 60%. I had an upset. I think I picked Tennessee.
Yeah, I had Tennessee too.
And that's to go to the Final Four, but I had Florida to win and one, then I had Duke to win.
Oh, so we've got the same kind of bracket. Although I did in one of my other brackets, I did Tennessee also. I just thought they might be the team for the upset.
Yeah, that's what I was
I had
thinking.
Tennessee in one bracket, and then I had Auburn in the other. I never picked Duke.
Never picked Duke.
No.
Okay.
Well,
You're just not a Duke guy?
No, I like Duke, but
Not this year.
not this year.
Okay.
I had Kentucky beating Tennessee, and
Oh, really?
you saw how that ended
Oh, yeah,
up.
that wasn't pretty.
It wasn't pretty
I had
at
the
all.
same thing.
You could flip that off after 10 minutes into the game,
Yeah.
I think.
I think a lot of times I just go with what I remember, from the past of
Sure.
who's been good, and Kentucky was always good. But.
Yeah.
So will you guys watch this weekend? Did the team come and watch it together? And how do you guys, will you get together to watch the Final Four?
No, we've been doing a lot of fundraising with Zip.
Oh,
so-
that's true.
I'm glad you brought that up
Yeah,
because there was just an article recently about that, and I've been on a few of those, and it's a lot of work. It's a lot of taxing work, but you have to think that helps build bonds.
That does.
You get to be in special places. You get to be down on the field with city games, and you're involved with some of the club rooms and stuff at the hockey games. And the Blues have been really, really exciting, and that building's been electric. So,
And the concerts.
first of all, thank you guys for doing all that to help fundraise. But Cody's goal is just to become self-sustainable and make sure that there's more stuff for athletes as we go forward.
Yes, sir.
So, what's your impression of the fundraising been like? Is it? Yeah, it's work, but it's got to be a little fun.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a little fun. It's
I'm a
definitely
fan
fun.
of it. I'm more of a hockey guy instead of the
Are
city
you?
games. 'Cause,
Yeah.
I'd rather do the hockey too.
Yeah,
And you know what's interesting is to hear a sophomore
yeah.
who says, I'm a fan of it, knowing that what he's doing
Is it going to help
for
somebody else down the road?
Is for helping the students the next couple of years and not himself. So, man, that's really cool. That definitely talks about building character and things like that. So,
And let's give a shout out to Cody, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
I
he
agree.
goes to every one of those. So it doesn't matter if it's the basketball team going or the women's basketball team or volleyball or golf. It doesn't matter who's going. He's always there.
that might be his assignment right
I
now.
mean, that guy is so busy and he's working so hard to
really
build
is.
something for people. And I hope all the athletes see that this is a athletic director that's not just telling you guys what to do, but actually heavily involved.
Yeah, he doesn't ask the student athletes to do something that
Right.
he won't do himself and does do himself. It's impressive. It really is.
So as we wrap up, what's the rest of the semester look like for you guys? Just finishing some classes, enjoying the weather outside. Well, not this week. This week's not been great, but
Yeah.
So what's in it for you? Just crunching down on the books right now, or you got some fun things planned?
Definitely trying to finish the year off strong.
But yeah, finish the year off strong. Keep working out. Stay fit.
Staying in the gym, getting better.
Oh, working out. So that's Dustin.
Dustin.
Yeah.
Dustin Duncan.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dustin's a good guy too. He'll work you though.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
He looks like he knows what he's talking about. I wouldn't argue with him.
Yeah, he comes from the Shane Callahan School
Yeah,
of
he does.
Fitness.
That's true. Yes.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a pleasure to find out about you, and good luck to you
you.
down the road. And we'll see you next year. We're going to televise a lot more basketball games, so
Yes, sir.
we'll see what you got going on next year.
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. And with that, I guess that'll take care of this edition of the A to Z Across LC podcast. Mike, take us out.
You know what Cody likes to say all the time.
We are
LC.
LC A to Z.